Hi there, in this tutorial I'll be taking you through the 3D Max platform. As you guys know, 3D Max is one out of many softwares that you can use to build and work on 3D design projects. You can use it for modeling and animation. You can use it to model create characters in and bring them into life, like by animating them. You can create 3D softwares. Sorry, you can create 3D based cartoons game for games and 3D characters for games, for cartoons, for architectural design projects. And so today I'm going to be taking you through the 3D Max interface and showing you the different tools, just something to get started with. And also we'll learn how to create some basic shapes in and how to navigate around the viewports in today's tutorial. So stay tuned. Now, first here, this place is the normal Windows toolbar. Virtually every Windows app has this. Then this is the main toolbar we have in 3D Max. And here, this place is called the command panel. Here you can create and modify objects. There's so many different things you can do in in here. This is basically a place like we call it command. It's called the command interface. Like you can use it to create, you can use it to modify objects. This is basically like the engine room for creating things on 3D Max. So now here, right here, this entire space is called the viewports. We have different viewports here. As you can see, this is the top view. We have the front view, you have the left view, and you have the perspective view. And so we okay okay firstly today, in this very tutorial we'll be creating a box. But just before then, let me still we're not done taking you I'm not done taking you through the user interface. So down below where you see this line, this bar line, is actually where animation is basically used for just animations alone, just right here. And while somewhere around here, we call it the navigation. Like this is where you I call it the navigation bar. Everything in the viewport can be you can use this part to manually change between scenes and control your viewport. So like I said, we have the perspective view. The perspective view shows you where like the shows you 3D shows objects in 3D format, while all these other spaces you can use to view objects in like the 2D format and different 2D variations. So like I said, this bar here is for animation, while this is navigation. And right here, anytime I move around any place within my perspective view, you get to see exactly like what's happening just around here. Now, these grids showing down here, like when it comes to when we start modeling, we would get to customize our viewport. So some ways to customize this. Like this, if I don't want this grid to show, I can turn it off. But right now, it's not very important. We want to get to the nitty gritty of things, which is to show you how to navigate inside the viewport. So basically, some of the tools that we'll be going over on the toolbar is the move, how to move an object, how to select and scale an object. And aside manipulating objects, we want to also learn how we can move around the uh, we want to learn how we can move around the viewports, like the viewport space. And like as you can see right now, I'm currently clicking on my middle mouse button to move pan this around. So you can also do that by clicking on this button right here. As you can see, it's called pan view. So I can just click with my left mouse button and pan around. So in order to make this more interesting, we're going to try to create a shape, or we're going to start with creating a box. And here's how you create the box in 3D Max. So you want to click here and start the process by dragging with your left mouse button. Then you you lift up the like you begin to drag your mouse up. This is to help create the length, and afterwards you can I'm going to try that again. And I still have it highlighted. So we're going to try again. Okay. Before we continue with this, I just wanted to create this to just show you, just bring some life into this scene. So, like I said, with your left button, you can. Okay, I still have that selected. Okay, let me try and create again. So you want to create that box again? You drag with your left mouse button, and and that's it. And raise it up and click on it to let it go. And afterwards, when you're done, you right click. So it does not highlight for you to create another box again. So now the next thing is to go to the okay, we're going to try to learn how to navigate around the scene, around the viewport scene. And so manually, you want to come down here. If you want to do a pan, you can pan around. Then for special panning abilities, you can use the shortcut to hobbit around an object by using the Alt key and the middle, like the middle mouse button that you would normally use to pan. You can use it to hobbit around the perspective view. So that's how it works. So now, after this, you want to move on to okay. Let's move on to learning how to zoom in and zoom out. So same here, you use your left mouse button just like normal basic style. Then you can get to pan around. Like while I'm doing this, I'm also like same button, use it to pan to the right and to the left while moving my mouse, and to zoom in and zoom out by you know rolling your middle mouse scroll bar. So that's that. Now, if I want to centralize this view, all I need to do is just go right here, and it would put it into perspective. Now, if I want my view to a particular viewport to cover the entire screen, I just I'll just come and just click right here, and that's Alt W to maximize or to get me to. I'm currently, if you can see that there's a kind of, let's say, brownish highlight. So anyone I want to bring to light, I could just either come right here and minimize and maximize the particular view that I want to see. And here, right here, where you see this frame, you can change into any kind you want. If you want this bottom to show, you all you need to do is change it in any way. If you like to put my, if I want to put my perspective view here, I can do the same. But if you can see now, everywhere around here, aside here, is showing wired frames. So you could want to change it to, if you like to change it to the default view, fine. Currently, it's still showing the top, but it's showing as perspective view here, but showing as the top here. All you need to do is, like I said, Alt button and middle mouse button to, you know, orbit around an object. So here also you can control from different edges. Right here, same thing, very easy to use, you know. Then when I want to, so now I'm going to take it back to top view. Yes, we're back to the top view. On the top view, you can pan around also, but you can pan around like you pan right here on the perspective view. So that's what that is for. Using the Alt button automatically change this to an orographic view. So that's it for now. Now we've learned how to navigate and zoom in and zoom out. Next, we're going to, okay, I just deleted that, and now I'm like reset my viewport. So to an extent, try to familiarize you guys with the basic movements around the viewport. If you want to, if you want to go back, like for this is just the button you use, just like normal like Windows Future. This is here you can. I'll show you what this does later on. And now we're gonna move on to like trying to create objects. So like this is just a crash course. So we're going to try to create a table. There are certain things you can do to manipulate an object, but before then, let's learn how to move, rotate, and scale up an object. So now we're going to start again. Now this time around, I'm going to be using a sphere. I'm going to draw in a sphere. So now this is a sphere. Yep. So currently we are on scale, but I would like to start with learning how to move an object. So you want to move this object, first you need to come here, click on move. And if you notice, he this is for selecting, just selecting around the region without doing anything, just to select. Um, so right here, we want to move this sphere. And if you notice, I'm currently on the top view. On the top view, we have the X and the Y axis. So if you notice, as I'm currently moving this object on the top view, and if you want to move exactly on, if you want to move exactly on objects, if you notice, I right click on the move button to give me this. option to be able to give specifics distance on exactly what I want. If I want my my objects aligned in a certain way, I can just come here and place it on the very axis in which I want it. So when I move, you would notice that on the y-axis, I'm currently moving on the y-axis. You will notice that the y-axis is moving. So let's say I want to move this to, let's say, 20, or let's say, just let me just put it on 0. Putting it on 0 puts me right on at the middle of. So if I put it on 0, so that is, so if I offset it to 20, it would also do the same on a perspective view, showing at the same time whatever I'm doing right here will affect every other part. So let's move this 100 something less, the 100 points on the x-axis, and like the z-axis is has both types to do with the height, and I'm gonna take it up and down. Let's try to take it. Okay, now put this on. Let's say 50. So if you want it to be accurate, all you need to do, if you want a particular positioning to be accurate, you're going to use this feature maybe um, later on, not in this tutorial. So there's that. Now, if I okay, trying to move this, when you are moving, make sure to use pattern on each axis. Make sure you use just for so you don't get confused, because you can actually take from here on this angle where I clicked on to move in any direction you want, but it's better to start from whatever axis you want to move on, so you get used to the different axes. So next, now I would like to show you how to rotate an object, but I would like to use a square for this rotation. So we're gonna delete, or maybe we'll just move this to one side of the screen. Let's just move this to one side of the screen. Yep. Now I'm gonna create another box. So right here on the base, you start from the top. If you notice, I'm still holding my left mouse button down, and I'm just gonna. If you notice somewhere by the side of the screen, you're gonna see the parameters moving on the command prompts panel. So currently I'm already taking on the height. I want this very tall, but not so tall. So I'm going to stop it here. So right here, I can come down and, give it exactly what I want. I want it to be, I want the length to be 40, and I want the width to be 40 also, but I want my pillar to be 100. Yep, it's 100. So right here now I have my tall pillar. So right now I'm zooming in and out. We said we wanted to rotate this object. So if I wanted to rotate this object by just rotating it, and there you go, I can rotate it to a certain angle towards the right or towards the left, either to the, and I can currently I'm rotating on the x axis. And like I said, if you want an accurate parameter, all you need to do is right click on the rotate and select so that you see exactly the points. So I'm going to take it back to 0, and now it's standing tall and straight. If I want to rotate it, currently, if you are following, I'm currently rotating on the Z axis. That's what's happening right now. Rotating, trying to rotate on the Z axis. Yep. And now I'll be rotating on the Y axis. Oh no. Whoa! I don't think I got that clear. So I'm going to be offsetting everything back to 0. Down to 0. So this helps make your work more easier, just in case you just want something clean. If I go right here, you can see that it's showing the different axes I want to rotate on. Again, um, there's something called snap, like angle snap, and this allows you to rotate in a more smoother way. If you notice, it's either going on a 5, like 0.5, or on the on whichever axis you choose. For instance, like I could just keep rotating. Okay, tried on a 45 degree. So this is 45 degree. I rotated this on the 45 degree. So I want to move it onto the on the Z axis, or to another 45 degree, or will I say, let me use 90 degree here. Then okay, I think we've done that. So on the Y axis, trying to rotate it right here on the Y axis, like let me see. So when you're rotating an object, depending on what you want the object to do, you can you can rotate. So that's how to rotate. And if you just want to rotate anyway, you could just click on any part of the screen and you'll be able to rotate any way you want. So like I said, you can come here, adjust it again. Now we're going to be trying and learning. You want to play with this so that you familiarize yourself with it. Okay, here you when we want to scale an object, I think I like to use my sphere again. I like to scale up my sphere. So I'm going to scale up my first sphere to the left axis. You can see, trying to create a globe. When you want to scale this object, I'm going to scale this. So you want to see what's happening. Right here, same thing. So we have the scaling happening right here to the left and to the y axis. Now, most times, like if you notice, I didn't use this scale for this. I could actually scale this, but if you notice currently, this object is on, that's my pillar, is currently on 100%, like offset, like it's just all 100%. But any For me, any change to this would change the scale from 100 to, for instance, if I want to scale this on the x-axis to maybe 200. There you go. So I'm going to be scaling it to 200. That's times 2 of what I had on the x-axis, and maybe here times 3. Scale it to 300 thereabouts. So I could just come here, just type in 300, and here I can make it come down to 50. I just like to have accurate measurements. Yep. So now that's how you that's how you scale. That's how you scale objects here. So I just deleted my square. So I want to bring it back. I just click on redo, and that's it. So now that we've okay, right here, I would like to change this view to the default shading option and turn off my grids. That's what I want. If I want to change different viewports, I could just come here and change to different viewports right here. Standard viewports layout. So whichever one suits you, I think I prefer. No. I prefer this other one. This is the one I prefer. Yeah. So I could have my perspective view, and if I want to scale this a little more, make it a little smaller, I can do that right here. So I have my top view here, front view, and the left sided. Now, if I want to change this, I can change it to the right, but by default, it's better to use the left because it has a shortcut key. Shortcut key. If I want, yeah, like I said before, you can maximize your a particular view that you want to view per time just by clicking on this plus sign to choose what view you want to display. So here also it gives you options to do some other configuration. So I'm going to restore the viewport back. So that's it for now. So let me make different variations of my box. So like I said, this is how you create a box. Coming down now. Let me reiterate this. Here you may ask like, okay, before we get into this is just a basic course, so I'm not going to go so much into details about how you let's just create something. I like to create something like a table, so let's draw. Now I forgot to say here on the command prompts, if you notice, if I draw another shape of another box, it's going to changes into different colors. So right here I can name and define which box is which. For instance, I probably wanted to use this for a carton. I can come and call it carton. Carton. And if I want to change the color of the carton to maybe carton color, I'll just come here and just, well, this is not it. I'm just kidding. So that's how you do that. Then here, maybe I want to use this for my table. Uh, Try to create a table. Um, if I want to change it, I can change it to this color. Yes, currently moving it up. Now, here's another thing I'd like to show you guys. On the customized panel, there's something that allows you to focus, because sometimes you could have so many things in your viewport, like scattered all around, and probably you just want to focus on one particular object and work. All you need to do is, this happens during the customization. You can come customize your, you just click on customization and then get your scene explorer. If I don't want to see these other um boxes, all I just need to do is come here. I just want to see only my table. So moving it around. So this helps me properly organize my work. And here we're going to be doing some editing on this very place. We'll try to, this is where you have other objects that you can create. But before we go on to, in the next tutorial, I'll be creating a chair and a table. But for now, let's just learn to create some other objects. So, like I said, to create, okay, I guess you guys already know how to create a box now, and it's fair. So let's just try to create a cone. So when creating a cone, you want to first clicking on your left mouse button. I'm still clicking on it and moving my mouse. That's what's happening here. Clicking, moving my mouse. Now, if you notice, there's a radius on the parameters down below. I wish I could select that for you. Then you, when creating your cone, you lift it up and you're kind of creating a cylinder already by doing this. So the next thing is to click again and drag in and out. To drag in and out, depending, you could create a cone or a bucket like object. I've forgotten what to call that kind of. I've forgotten what to call this kind. Is it fruit? I don't know. Fruit storm? Really no. Okay, so you have the cone. So this is how to create a cone, and you just click. Now I've clicked to get out of that view. I'll right click to get out. Then let's try to create. If you already created a cone, it means you already know how to create a cylinder, because it's basically the same process, just that you stop at the height after creating the circle. So here's another object that we can use to make our donuts. Donuts like objects. So cool. Now we also have a teapot. This is a default. I don't know why they have this particular the teapot shape in almost every 3D software. I don't know what its uses for, but it's cool. I can have many teapots in my cartoons. Then here you have a geosphere, almost similar to a normal sphere. Then you have a plane. A plane is basically even the first kind of creation. Before you create a box, you have to create a plane first. Then where you create a box is what's left is once you left click, a box comes out. So we'll try to create a box again. Let me delete this other box I had before and create a box again. So a box is practically starts from a plane. And now I've made my plane, and then the next thing is moving it up creates the height of my box. So the difference between this plane here and this box here is just the height, and that's how it works. So that's with this tutorial. I don't want to make this tutorial too long. In the next tutorial, I'll be showing you we'll be going into editing and we're going into modifying a an object. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'll see you in the next tutorial. Thank you. Okay.